What's up, family? Welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit the like button. As you can see from the title, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna have titled it yet. Some 80s, 90s nostalgia era, something. But every once in a while, I'll do a video, kind of a throwback nostalgia type memory lane about the 80s and the 90s, which I believe was the last 2 decades I would call the super era to me. I feel that the 80s and the 90s to me, and I'm sure everybody feels that way about the time that they was young and growing up, was just unlike, especially the eras that came after it. We just had a unique way of doing things, of moving, of operating. That's just once technology hit the scene, it took away a lot of things. One of the things that it took away was, I think, our resilience. To me, 80s and 90s kids had to learn really quick how to be resilient. And another thing that I think it took away was our imagination. Because of our lack of technology, we had to really put our head together and come up with something creative and fun to pass the time and to keep things moving. And I was thinking back today about some of the things that was taking place in the 90s that's different now. I want to name about 3 or 4 of them. Number one, if you tried out for the football team or for the baseball team, and there was more people that tried out than actually needed to be on the team, including the extra players. So you had to go to tryouts. The way that you got told that you made the team. So you couldn't do this nowadays because people get offended and hurt and people gonna start whining and crying. But the way that you knew you made the team was about a week after tryouts was over. Blood, sweat, and tears. You done went out there and gave it your best. The coach would post somewhere in the school the people who made the list, who made the team. And so all the guys or girls basketball or whatever, they would run when that list hit, everybody would run to it and look at it to see if they made the squad. Well, here's the deal. Only the people who made it names is on that paper, but of course, you might have had, let's say they needed 20 people. 40 people might have tried out. But there's only going to be 20 names on that paper. And ain't nobody going to apologize about it. If your name ain't on the paper, ain't no sugarcoating is what I'm trying to say. It was the era of no sugarcoating. If your name not on the paper, it means you didn't make the team. Period. And if you was a freshman or sophomore or junior, and you go talk to the coach, he gonna tell you try again next year. I love it. No sugarcoating. Name on the paper, you made it. May not be a starter, don't know. We had to see at the practice start. But you made a team. But you gotta imagine all these guys and girls when they look at this piece of paper that's stapled or taped up in a disappointment because everybody want to make the team. But nobody cared. Nobody made no excuses. Nobody apologized. Nobody said you're still great. You're still this. If you didn't make the team, you wasn't good enough. There was 20 people better than you. Period. That's it. That's number one. But it made you strong, though. It made you strong. You believe it or not, these small things made us strong. Number two, the guys remember this before simping came out. Back in the day, the gangsters didn't do too much of this, but the playboys and the regular cool boys, they would carry the books, some of them books that we had to carry. Now kids come home, you ain't hardly got a book in the book bag. But back in the day, we had 6 or 7 classes and homework, and so the books would stack up. So you would carry a girl's books that you was either interested in or y'all was going together. But here's the deal. There were times where you would carry a girl's books to her class that may have you late for your own class because you had to go back maybe the other way or further down. Okay. And once she got to class and took her books from you, she could tell you, I want to break up with you. That's as simple as it was. I want to break up with you. Go into class, the door closed. That's it. The bell ring, you already tardy. Get ready for detention. That's it. You done carry 5 books, including yours, laughing and giggling in the hallway. Everybody know you and Sabrina, y'all a thing. You don't know Sabrina got her eyes on the foot because you ain't make the team. She would have stayed with you had you made the team, but she knows she a pretty girl and she hang with the pretty girl crew, and her boyfriend can't be no loser that didn't make the team. So when she see the list, I'm kind of putting the two together, embellishing a little bit, but y'all know I'm telling the truth. When she see the list, and your name ain't on it, but Javon's name was on it. He was actually the quarterback of my middle school, Javon. Javon's name was on it. She gonna break up with you. That's the way it was. No text message, no DM, straight to your face. And by lunchtime, she sent with another dude. You had to take it. You had to be resilient. You had to be strong. That's how you had to do it. 80s and 90s, to me, the super era. Let's see. Number 3. Remember this one. Girl you was dating, write you a note. You guys, this young crew, y'all don't get no notes written to y'all. You get a text message, ain't got no emotion to it. Back in the day, a girl would write you notes. She'll put your last name by her last name. You know what I'm saying? Amy and Todd on her notebook, hearts all over the place. Y'all break up, she'll get a whole new notebook or rip the cover off. But you get a note from your girl. She say, write me a note. That's what you say when you let her go at the class third period. You say, write me a note while you in class. She write you a note, put a little bit of her perfume on it. That's what I'm talking about, that perfume. That perfume that she put on there, now you got that smell of her with you for the rest of the day. You don't get that no more. The girls still wear perfume, but they don't write the notes. The notes made you feel special because you be sitting in fourth period class reading the note. And then speaking of notes, y'all remember this, writing a note to a chick while you in class. The teacher talking to you, but you ain't paying no attention. You either reading the note or writing the note. Professor X, what's 2 plus 2? You ain't paying no attention. Because you read it, you either reading it or you writing it or whatever. So you ain't paying the teacher no attention. You ain't paying the teacher no attention at all. And then she come back there and snatch it out your hand. And she start reading in front of the class. Unless it get too crazy, then she say, see me after class if you want to get this note back. And then you had to write on the chalkboard 50 times, I will not write or read notes in class. Y'all don't get that no more. Imagination gone. You got text message, DM. Y'all look at each other, TikTok. That's what y'all got. No imagination. Nothing. But this one here, I'm going to leave y'all with this one. Do y'all remember? Actually, no, because there's another thing that I liked about the 80s and the 90s. Hold on. It just came to me. You had real consequences for running your mouth. See, especially with social media, people can pick up the keyboard of their phone and all of a sudden they become ninjas. Sho Kosugi. Go watch Into the Dragon, Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja Domination 3. That's him. My favorite ninja star growing up. And pick up the keyboard, all of a sudden they ninjas. They could throw ninja stars all the way across. They can do whatever. They deadly. Now they can do that. Because they know chances are if y'all running into each other, it's gonna be slim to none. So they can run their mouth, say whatever. If you're a YouTube creator, content creator, whatever you do, they come in your chat, they say whatever, call you all kind of names, and they know y'all 4 states apart, and you ain't wasting your time trying to find them so they can say whatever they want. But the 80s and the 90s, you run your mouth and word is going to travel. I said word of mouth is the best way to get things done anyway. You run your mouth and you think ain't no, you done told somebody, don't tell nobody up, Professor X, when I see him, I'm going to slap. The one you told just so happened to be his homeboy who told his girlfriend, who told his sister. And then by the time you get to school the next day, the whole school knows something about to get down. The consequence for your actions. You put your books in the locker, go to close it so you can go to class. When it closed, so-and-so standing right there, you take one to the jaw. You stunned because you like, what did I do? What did I say? Because it don't dawn on you that you've been running your mouth. You just take one. Pop out. Old school song said, guard your grill, knuckle up. Y'all shout out. Y'all remember that song? Guard your grill, knuckle up. You've been running your mouth. Word done got out. You shut your locker. You go to get off the bus. They waiting over there by the tree. Now you got to jet out because you've been running your mouth. The 80s and the 90s made you responsible for running your mouth. Now you come on social media, you say what you want to say and get away with it. Made us resilient, made us strong, made us think before. You taste your own blood one time, you'll think the next time. Anyway, number 5. Y'all remember this. We had a word in the 80s and the 90s called the cooties. The cooties, if y'all remember the ATL, y'all know I like Laura London, how she look. Y'all know that. I think she's special. I do. She top 20 for me. Remember in the scene when they was in the skating ring, she was drinking something, and T.I. came up, screwed up, and said, "Give me some." And she said, "I don't know where your mouth been. You might have the cooties." The cooties was an imaginary germ that we used on people that we really liked and was attracted to. I know it sounds weird, it sounds backwards, but if we like somebody, we would jokingly say they got the cooties, so everybody would go, "Ew, don't sit by me, don't, ew, so and so, he got the cooties," and it's imaginary, but and people will really move away from you, and the whole while you like you said it about somebody that you like. But the females from that time remember this. We had a game called the Cootie Catcher. That's what we called it. Cootie Catcher, or type of a fortune teller type game. I'll tell you how this worked. Took a piece of paper, made sure it was square. If I remember correctly. You fold, remember, ladies, y'all remember this? You fold the 4 corners into the center. Flipped it over, folded the 4 corners of that one into the center. Folded it in the middle, creased it, open it up, flipped it over, close it again, creased it. That would create, I believe, 4 pockets that you could write stuff inside. So then, using a thumb and a index finger on both fingers, they could put their fingers into those 4 flaps that it created by doing that method, and they could move it up, down, side, or diagonal. The girls could do it really quick. Y'all remember? Shout out if you remember. Put something in the comments so you remember. And so they would walk up to you and say something like, "Hey, let's play the game." And they say, "Pick a color." So you had to pick from like 4 colors. Let's say you said blue. Then they would move that thing with their fingers 4 different ways to represent the 4 letters in the blue. So BLUE. Then it would come up with something. The numbers would be there. And they would say, "Pick a number." So you could, let's say you said 3. They could either tell you to pick the flap that said 3, because all this stuff they done wrote something on. So it's the writings in all of those flaps, so to speak. So when you're looking down there, you see a bunch of words, but you don't know what's coming, because the final answer is hidden. You pick a letter, you pick a color, blue, BLUE. Pick a number 3. She could either say open the 3 flap, or she could do it again, THREE, do it that way. Then when you open up the final, that was the reveal. So it may say something like, you got a crush on Sabrina, or you got the cooties, or you're going to be a garbage man when you grow up. Just something that they use in their imagination blah, 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 blah. That's what I'm talking about. We had imagination. But the problem with that kind of game was if it says you like Sabrina, normally Sabrina was very unattractive. This was not going to be a beautiful woman whose name was written down. So again, word of mouth. By the time school's out, everybody is saying Professor X got a thing for Sabrina. Sabrina's not even that attractive, but she done heard about it. Now her interest is up. She want to holler at Professor X. So she waiting, kind of sticking around to see if it's true. And the whole while it was a lie. We called it the cootie catcher. Shout out to the 80s and the 90s, the best era ever. Got it? Bye.